evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement exercises of the Lapeer Community High School class of 2014. You know, the students have worked so hard and put in so much effort to get here today. We're going to hear a lot of things about that. We just ask you please help us to give them a program that's worthy of the hard work that they put in to make it here today. Thank you very much. At this time, we will be beginning our processional. I ask that we please rise for the traditional playing of Pomp and Circumstance as we welcome our dignitaries and graduates to the stage.
Welcome our graduates to the stage. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Graduates, you may be seated. Be seated.
I'd like to take a few moments to make some introductions, beginning with myself. For those who don't know me in the audience here, my name is Matt Olson, and it is my privilege to be the principal of the Lapeer Community High School. And it is my pleasure this evening to introduce you to a number of distinguished guests who join me in pride to be part of this ceremony honoring the graduates before you this evening. I'd like to start with introducing our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Matt Wandry. And I'd like to also introduce our members of our Board of Education. Starting from the outside here with Trustee Ms. Wendy Byer, President Mr. Mike Keller, Vice President Mr. Gary Oyster, Secretary Mrs. Peggy Bush, Trustee Mrs. Denise Becker, Trustee Mr. Mike Nolan, and Trustee Mr. Jonathan Nugent. Thank you for being here this evening. It is also my honor and privilege to introduce to you among the more dedicated and talented staff that I have ever had the pleasure of working with. This is a remarkable group of educational professionals. As I've been privileged to work with them this year, I just want to tell you it takes special people who are absolutely fully dedicated to their mission to do what these people do day in and day out. So I'm therefore proud to introduce teaching staff down below me here. If you would please do a quick stand and wave so they can see you. Mrs. Kathy McKee, Mrs. Cindy Tanky, Mr. Don Shaver, Mr. Bill O'Brien, Mr. Troy Norman, Mrs. Kelly Wagner, Mr. Doug Grover, Mr. Rod Shook, Mr. Tim Prue, and in absentia, I'd like to recognize also our teachers, Mrs. Lindsay Monroe, Mr. Paul Fernandez, and Mrs. Michelle Edson, the teaching staff of Lapeer Community High School. I also like to recognize some of the folks who support us day in and day out, who've helped these kids get to where they are today, and that is our support staff, including Mrs. Kim Carlson, Ms. Lisa Saras, Ms. Pam Yelly, Mr. John Wilson, our custodian, Ms. Joyce Fisher, and Ms. Michelle Moken McFall, our food service people. Those support staff are what make things happen day in and day out, and I thank them for what they do. And lastly, and certainly not least, actually I'd say most, and that is the right hand of this building that makes things happen on a day in and day out basis, our wonderful and amazing secretary, Mrs. Karen Ridenauer. At this time, I'd like to bring up a very special guest, and that is Ms. Cindy Tanky. Ms. Tanky, would you come up to the stage, please? Ms. Tanky will be leading us in the traditional national anthem, so if we could please rise. I ask gentlemen to please remove your hats. And as you may know, today is a very special day as we honor our country, but also our soldiers at home and serving abroad. Today on the anniversary of D-Day, where 156,000 troops stormed the beaches of Normandy in defense of our freedom. To that honor, I give you Ms. Tanky with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ringing, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
Thank you very much, Miss Tanky. I've heard legend of that performance. I'm glad to have been graced by it. Beautiful, beautiful voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the point of the program where they give me a few minutes to expound, and I do my best not to go on and on, as I have been accused of that talent or crutch in the past. I'm not sure what you refer to it as, but I'd like to speak to the graduates today for a bit and talk to them. I told them yesterday during the rehearsal, I promised that my words would be life-changing, that this would be something that they would remember to the day of their death. And so I kind of set a high bar for myself. We'll see how I do. But before I get into the meat and potatoes of what I'd like to say to this fine group in front of me here today, I'm hoping you'll allow me a quick story. It's kind of a fun little story because it's a celebrity encounter story. Okay, it's one of those things where we all hope someday to kind of be in that moment where you meet that person that special person that you really admire. So, my wife and I, a few years back, were vacationing in Chicago. We just had our second boy. We were a 4-person family. About 8 months prior to that, and this was the first time that we had been away from our children and not had any baby responsibilities for more than 3 hours. Okay, in about 4 years. So it was pretty awesome. We were stoked about the trip in general. So we're staying in Chicago, and we're at a beautiful hotel downtown. Found a great deal right off the Magnificent Mile shopping district. And so we had a great trip. Last day, we're in our elevator. We stayed up. We're pretty high up in the hotel. We're on the way down, and on that way down, we got a ways to go, and bing, the door opens. The door opens, and not standing in front of us, but sitting in front of us in a wheelchair is this very regal-looking, beautiful African-American lady being pushed by this gentleman, looked like a kind of a manservant, This was I can't describe it other than say, just that she had an impressive aura about her. So she wheels into the elevator, and she just puts us at ease immediately. Not really sure why, she just does. We start bantering back and forth. Typical, oh, where are you from? We're from Michigan. Oh, yeah. What are you doing in Chicago? Blah, 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 that kind of thing. Just nice little small talk. And really just put us at ease. Conversation in an elevator isn't generally the easiest thing to do. I don't know about you, but I tend to be the guy that's kind of back in the corner, checking my watch, trying to ignore all people around me, But anyway, we get out in the lobby. We all walk toward the front door. So being the gentleman that I like to try to be, of course, I grab the door and open it for this lovely person I just met. And she's very, very nice. Thank you, that's very kind. And my wife gets to the next door, and we walk out, and she says kind of a weird thing. She says, hey, have you ever been inside one of these? I said, inside of what? And she said, one of these converted coaches. And I look, and there's literally a tour bus sitting in front of the hotel, idling at the curb. So my first thought is, who is this lady, And I said, no, so come on in, check it out. So we walk in, we check it out, and it's gorgeous on the inside. Mahogany cabinetry, and big flat screen TV, and, just really nice. So we get out, and we keep having a little bit of conversation, and of course, friendly banter. At that point, I'm like, yeah, I have a trailer for camping, but it's not quite up to those standards. Ha, ha, ha. So we go about our merry way. So my wife and I are walking down the sidewalk as the tour bus pulls away with this lovely person that we just met. And we kept asking the question, who is that lady? Who is this person? We could not come up with it at the time. So we're walking down. You know how it is, how your brain works. You put it on the back burner to simmer. And about 20 minutes later, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I turn to my wife, Desiree, and I say to her, Desiree, we just met Maya Angelou. And we checked. I pulled out the phone, got it on the internet. It was her. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, wow. So, for those who may not know, okay, especially to our graduates who are a little bit younger, and they may not be literary buffs, but Maya Angelou, if you haven't heard, passed away last week. She just passed away. She was a groundbreaking author who broke barriers of race and gender. And perhaps her best-known work is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She was an overall amazing contributor to the culture of the United States and indeed the world. In addition, because of my lucky little encounter, I can also tell you that she has a beautiful smile, a gentle laugh, and a completely approachable personality that just reminded me of my own grandmother. I bring her up not because of her notoriety and her recent tragic passing, but because of this particularly excellent quote that's attributed to her. And this is where I want you to, you've been falling asleep up now with my morning start, Dylan. Tune back in, okay? All right, got it? All right. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. You may not know the rest of Maya Angelou's story, but rest assured she had a turbulent and difficult life. Her story began with a tragic childhood in which she experienced trauma that no person, let alone a child, should experience when she was only 8 years old. She then became a selective mute and literally did not speak for nearly 5 years, believing in her young mind that her voice was the root cause of her own trauma and the subsequent death of the man responsible for that trauma. Maya Angelou was defeated early in life, as I know many of you were as well. Defeat comes in many forms. Defeat is not equal and ultimately impacts us all. For many of you, defeat has been profound and real. Your defeat may have occurred at school, at home, among friends, among family, and many other places along your path. Whatever those defeats were, you have thus far adhered to the wise words of Maya Angelou. You are not defeated. Defeat is necessary. We all have to experience it. That failed class, that toxic relationship, falling in and out with family or friends, missed opportunities, all of those defeats that we experience. The simple fact is this: we would not be who we are today without them. That which does not kill us only serves to make us stronger. Maya tells us that these help us know who we are. And your sitting here today on this stage is testament to the fact that you have risen from your defeats and come out swinging. I had an old mentor, superintendent of mine, Southern guy. And he said this to me often: Matthew, advice is cheap, so I'm going to give you some. Mr. Wander's probably heard that once or twice too. Same guy. My biggest piece of advice to you folks going forward as you cross the stage and move on to the next stage of life is not to lose that quality of perseverance, the ability to overcome defeat. Just a couple of silly examples why. So, I brought props. All right. Everyone know what this is? WD-40. I worked in a hardware store for 6 years before I became a teacher, okay? So I know a lot about home improvement and stuff like that. It's kind of part of my life. It's what I do on the weekends. It's my therapy. All right, but WD-40. Pop quiz. Does anyone know how WD-40 got its name? True story. WD stands for water displacement. Okay? WD-40 was a design. We had some engineers that sat around saying, how can we come up with this thing that displaces water? That was all it was originally for. So that's what the WD stands for. You learned something today. Okay? I'm a teacher at heart. I still got to teach. So there you go. Water displacement. The 40 comes from, this was the 40th time that they tried a formula to get it to work. The first 39 failed. So if you had an engineer out there that was working on this water displacement formula, and after 35 tries, I give up. We could not stop hinges from squeaking. And what kind of a world would we live in? I ask you that. Okay? All right, one more. I hope you know what this is. Okay? So, yes, this is the good old-fashioned light bulb. All right? Actually, this is a really fancy schmancy light bulb that goes in one of our parking lot lights, because we can't find incandescents anymore because we're using all, like, the CFLs and stuff. So
Don't drop that.
this is really expensive. Budgetarily, we cannot afford to keep just replacing these at will. Okay, so the light bulb. Okay, everyone hopefully remembers from their social studies class back in elementary school. Madison, raise your hand. Invented the light bulb. Come on. You don't graduate if no one answers this. Yes. What? Thank you. Save. Thomas Edison. Okay. So, the question that I have for you, you probably can guess from the Genius WD-40 episode, is how many times did Thomas Edison fail before coming up with, probably not this fancy, pretend this has a little carbon filament in it, okay? The light bulb, it's actually not known. I looked on the internet. The internet knows everything, okay? So I looked on Wikipedia, which I hear is a rock-solid source. That's never wrong. That's not true. Don't do that. If you research only on Wikipedia, you're going to have a lot of trouble. But on Wikipedia, it says that Thomas Edison had well over, they believe, documented 1,000 designs, possibly as many as 10,000 that they tried and failed before he came up with the carbon filament light bulb that works today. So, I ask you to emulate these people. Ladies and gentlemen, as you venture out beyond community high school into the adult world, I want you to please remember, defeat is mandatory, but being defeated is optional. Defeat lies ahead indeed, but so does prosperity. Today, you have risen to the occasion. You've reached a huge milestone, but the journey is far from over. I charge you to take that diploma, put it to good use, take it to the next step. Be it college, further training, world of work, continue to persevere, to overcome defeat, and to ultimately rise to every occasion. You each have a story, just as Maya Angelou did. She overcame the worst of humanity, the most difficult trauma, and all the guilt, however misplaced, that went with it, yet she went on to become a historical figure who broke down barriers for women and people of color, while also being a celebrated author, and just frankly, from my interaction with her, a down-to-earth and friendly human being. I encourage you all to follow her example. Tell your story, especially to those younger than you who may encounter similar defeats. Tell them it's okay to experience defeat, just don't allow yourself to be defeated. Help them see there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and that success is always possible. I wish you all the best, and on behalf of the full staff of Community High School sitting here before you, and the entirety of the Lapeer community represented in here, I congratulate you on your accomplishment. Thank you. With that, that's plenty of me for now. I'd like to hand this over to our wonderful counselor and teacher, Ms. Kathy McKee, who's going to direct the scholarships and awards. Ms. McKee, all yours.
Good evening. Tonight, as part of our graduation ceremony, we are honored to be presenting the awards and scholarships that our seniors will be receiving. Community organizations in the area schools honor Lapeer Community High School by providing some of our outstanding seniors who plan with scholarship money, or those who plan on continuing their education. Earlier this year, Lapeer Community High School, along with many schools in the state of Michigan, participated in College Application Week. All of our seniors researched post-secondary institutions and were able to apply to colleges and trade schools. All of our staff participated by giving information on their own college experiences, good and bad, and we think that sparked some interest in our students and hopefully really got them thinking about education after high school. This year, over 60% of our graduates plan to pursue higher education. The potential for scholarship assistance has encouraged many of our students to further their education and is truly appreciated by Lapeer community students, staff, and parents. When your name is called, please come forward to receive your award. The first award tonight is from the Kiwanis organization. They have generously provided the scholarship to a Lapeer Community High School students for the past 8 years. This scholarship will be explained and presented by Ms. Emily Barber.
taller than Kathy is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here for tonight's ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to make this presentation. The Kiwanis Club of Lapeer is a service organization dedicated to improving the quality of life for children and families in the Lapeer County area and worldwide. The Kiwanis Scholarship is an example of Kiwanis' commitment to the children of the Lapeer County area. This scholarship provides $500 to assist a Lapeer Community High School graduate in continuing their education. The winner of the 2014 Kiwanis Scholarship is a lovely young woman that began attending Lapeer Community High School her sophomore year. She was awarded Student of the Year in 2011-2012 and has been enrolled in the Culinary Arts program at EdTech for 2 years, where she excelled in bakery pastry training. She has developed excellent communication, teamwork, and leadership skills, and is extremely empathetic toward her peers and is willing to provide any assistance that is needed. She's the youngest of 5 children, and she'll be the first to graduate. She plans to continue her education by attending Mott Community College in the fall and then proceed to a 4-year university. I would like to present the 2014 Lapeer Kiwanis Scholarship to Emily Devine. Thank you once again for allowing me to participate in your ceremony tonight, and most importantly for allowing Kiwanis the opportunity to provide help and recognition to such a great future scholar. Congratulations.
The union dues of the teaching staff of Lapeer Community Schools funds the Lapeer Education Association Scholarship. It is my pleasure to award the $500 scholarship to a Lapeer Community High School student. The student receiving this award has excelled at both Lapeer Community High School and EdTech. He plans to pursue education in graphic design and business. He is one of our top seniors. This award goes to Jordan Ritchie. The Lapeer Community Scholarship Foundation was originally funded by a Total Staff campaign, and the contributions continue to support this worthy recognition of our students. The scholarships have been awarded to Lapeer students for 29 years. The Lapeer Community Scholarship Loan Board recently increased the scholarship to $1,000. We are proud to present this scholarship to one of our top seniors. She participated in the state FFA competition, where she received a silver award in career development for veterinary science. She plans to combine her knowledge and love of animal science with education to work with students with disabilities. We expect great things from her. This scholarship goes to Gabrielle Day. This year, we're pleased to receive an award we have not received before. It's called the Granger Superintendent Scholarship. Our superintendent, Mr. Landry, contacted me a month or so ago to let me know that he would like to offer this $500 scholarship to a Lapeer Community High School student. We are very pleased to be able to present this award to our top senior. She has displayed perseverance and grace throughout her high school career. Emily Devine. The next scholarship is the Baker College Alternative Education Scholarship, and it will be presented and explained by Randy Thompson.
Good evening. My name is Randy Thompson. I'm here representing Baker College. Each year, Baker College hands out scholarships to each alternative and adult education high school throughout the state. And this scholarship covers half of the tuition, books, as well as supplies for that student for their first 2 years of college. This year, we are proud to award that to Ashley Clark.
keep having to move this. Right now, if Jeff Fisher would please stand. Yeah, there it is. Earlier this month, in May, Jeff received an award as the top senior in the county in his RVR program at EdTech. He will continue his education in RVR at PSI in Ohio, which I've asked him a million times, what does PSI stand for? I still can't remember. But it's a really good school for recreational vehicle repair, and we're very proud of him, and congratulations. The final award of the evening will be presented by Ms. Kelly Wagner.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wagner, and I'm here to present the Senior of the Year Award. 6 years ago, my colleague Bill O'Brien gave me a poem. It's hung behind my desk, where I read it from time to time. Here's to kids who are different, kids who don't always get A's, kids who have ears twice the size of their peers and noses that go on for days. Here's to kids who are different, kids they call crazy or dumb, kids who don't fit with the guts and the grit, who dance to a different drum. Here's to kids who are different, kids with a mischievous streak. For when they have grown, as history has shown, it's their differences that make them unique. As this poem is short, so is the time that we spend with each student that comes through the door. In this short time, it is incredible how we see them grow. They come to us in pretty rough shape, but as the years go by, they become more responsible, more ambitious, and they become role models to the newer students. Most of all, they find themselves. Each student has a unique story, and that is why they are sitting on this stage. One student, however, has come a long way. I remember when I first had her in class, it was like pulling teeth to get her to work. Now she won't leave us alone. If she's finished with her work, she helps out the teachers. She just constantly wants something to do. She has gone above and beyond what is expected. She is one of those students who we can rely on, who we can trust, and who stands out above the rest. This year's Senior of the Year award goes to Kat Hogan.
Thank you so much, Ms. McKee, Ms. Wagner, and our guests and dignitaries who helped us present these this evening. It's always an awesome thing to see our kids being recognized for the great work that they do. At this time, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. It is a tradition here that we have different representatives, and tonight our Board of Education has elected Ms. Wendy Byard is going to be our guest Board of Education speaker. Mrs. Byard.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to congratulate the graduates. We are very proud of all of you. This is truly a joyous occasion. I'd like to begin my remarks tonight by telling you about a man I met recently, a man named Tim. When Tim was 9 months old, he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And when Tim was 4 years old, he was placed into a wheelchair. And now, for almost 30 years, Tim has spent his life sitting in a chair. He cannot walk, he cannot truly use the left side of his body, and he cannot speak easily. In fact, Tim struggles to form every single word. So why do I mention Tim tonight? Because this man, a 2000 graduate of Lapeer West High School, is a testimony about living life with determination and optimism. After 14 long and painstaking years of study, Tim finally graduated this spring from the University of Michigan Flint. When I met with him recently, I said to him honestly, Tim, how can you pursue a degree for 14 years in your condition? And he turned to me and he said, Wendy, I needed to believe in myself. Sometimes I do get overwhelmed. On those days, I cannot do what I need to do. But I made it this far, and I cannot give up. When I think of Tim, I think of words like grit, toughness, perseverance, resiliency, determination, and doggedness. I cannot truly comprehend, and I don't think really any of us can, what it must be like to live a life in a wheelchair, with little ability to control your body, challenged to speak, often isolated, different from those around you, yet possessing keen intelligence. Gandhi said, strength comes from indomitable will, and that man often becomes what he believes himself to be. When I think about the graduating class of community high school, the men and women on this stage, I believe that within them lies the same desire to be strong, to wrestle with past mistakes and challenges, and to climb to a high pedestal. These graduates have chosen not to quit, not to fail, not to remain rooted in the past, but to press on for the future. Nothing has been handed to them. Quoting the Reverend Philip Brooks, John Kennedy once said, do not pray for easy lives, pray to be stronger men. So what allows Tim, a man who cannot walk and barely talk, to wake up every morning with renewed determination to pursue his dream? And what accounts for the success of these graduates today, despite any and all odds? I believe each of them possesses that inner spark, that light within, the human spirit, the indomitable will of which Gandhi spoke, the mysterious force that drives us onward to conquer, to triumph. I would like to end my remarks tonight with this quote. There's something about the flower that grows through the rocks, the pavement, through logs and stone or brick walls. All roses are beautiful, but the rose that emerges unexpectedly through the asphalt has a beauty of soul. The flower that reaches through the brokenness of the wall has a beauty of spirit. You stop to look, and not only to look, but to cherish. Somewhere along its journey, it decided that it would reach for what was unseen. It decided that it would be, that it would become, and it did. So to the class of 2014, we recognize and admire your beauty of spirit, your inner strength, and indomitable will that compelled you to face down adversity, build your character, and ultimately take your place on this stage. Tonight, we cherish you. May God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Byer. Next, it's our tradition to select an outstanding student to speak at the commencements at the student perspective of their journey. And to do that this evening, we have selected Rachel Urban. Rachel.
Welcome, family, friends, teachers, and administrators. It's finally happening. We're finally graduating. I don't want to give the traditional graduation speech because, as we all know, our school is anything but traditional. We're the group of kids that were told to give up because we weren't going to make it anywhere anyway. We're the group of kids that everyone thought of as defiant juvenile delinquents that cared too much about partying and not enough about our futures. Lucky for us, our defiant ways paid off. We proved them wrong, as our school's graduates always do. When we leave here today, we're no longer the group of kids that society said would never make it, but the adults who overcame all of the stereotypes and persevered through all of the tough times in order to make something of ourselves. The past 4 years have been the craziest journey I've ever been on. They've been filled with friends and fights, makeups and breakups, happiness and heartbreaks. At one point or another, we were all ready to give up. But the point is not that we wanted to, but the fact that we did not. We are standing before you today, ready to start a new journey, an even crazier journey, the one that we were meant to go on all along. We do, however, have to stop and remember that there was absolutely no way we could have done this by ourselves. So on my peers' behalf, I would like to thank all the families who had to fight with us to get out of bed every day and the teachers who went the extra mile to make sure we would be standing up on this stage. Starting at Lapeer Community High School, I have to admit I was scared. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The only thing I knew was my previous year as a freshman was an experience that I never wanted to relive. I knew I didn't want to be another high school dropout or the girl that threw her future away, but I had no idea how I was ever going to make something of myself. Within my first week, I met my answers. I met a group of the most influential people in my life. I met teachers who actually taught me something beyond the books. They taught me real life lessons. Teachers who actually cared enough to take the time and do whatever it took to connect with me and help me understand what was going on. I met a counselor who literally drove herself crazy, which I'm sure we contribute a little bit to, just to help guide us along the path to success, and for that, thank you, Mrs. McKee. And then I met some of the most determined and driven students, my peers who are standing here with me today. This group of people changed my life, and I couldn't be more thankful for all of them. It's bittersweet as we leave here today, sweet in our success, but bitter knowing this is the last time some of us will ever see each other. We are the last graduating class of Lapeer Community High School at Crampton, and I'm honored to be one of the graduates standing before you today. So as we leave, we need to apply to our lives and futures what we've learned at Crampton. We need to keep setting goals and proving society wrong. We need to be as caring and understanding as those who got us here today. We need to continue on the path to success, and no matter how many bumps or stops on the way, we cannot give up. This is it, graduates. It's finally our time to shine. Congratulations, Crampton's last graduating class. Congratulations, class of 2014.
Can't think of a more appropriate way to end the speakers than that. Nice job, nice job, nice job. At this time, we are getting to the time when all of you have been waiting for, but more especially all of you have been waiting for. Don't forget, right? Superintendent Wandry, distinguished members of our Board of Education, on behalf of myself and on behalf of the members of the staff at Lapeer Community High School, I hereby affirm to you that the students presented before you this evening have fulfilled the requirements and expectations set forth by the Lapeer Community School District. They are therefore entitled to receive the Lapeer Community Schools diploma we are conferring upon them this evening. I'd like to welcome to the stage at this time Mr. Shook, who will be reading the names of the graduates. If you could, staff, please prepare.
Casey Cecilia Rogers. Rachel Ann Urban. Sabrina Lee Fuller. Kathleen Logan. Ashley Elizabeth Clark. Lacey Scher. Jessica Christine McIntyre. Sydney McKenna Young. Morgan Olivia Hauser. Nicole McMurray. Gabrielle L. Davis. Lindsay Renee Canezas. Drake Edward Allen McKenzie. Jeffrey Fisher. Charles Martinez. Jacob Jonathan Mueller. Zach Hendricks. Matthew Ryan Downey. Jordan Ritchie. Alex Law. Mike Reed. Michael Anthony Stevenson. Derek Sawyer Banzler.
Graduates, at this time, please stand up. Please move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to present to you the fifth grade class of 2014. A big congratulations to our graduates. And thank you, truly thank you. On behalf of everyone, Lapeer Community Schools and our graduates, thank you to all of you who've come out. At this time, we'll be concluding our commencement exercises with the recessional. We ask that you please remain in your seats while our graduates, staff, and honored guests exit the auditorium. You are, of course, welcome to take pictures and such following our recessional, on or by our stage, and in our court just outside the auditorium. Again, thank you, and congrats, graduates of 2014.